What's going on, everybody? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Desmond Childs alongside Jazzy May, and I am proud, excited. I'm happy. Everything, man. Like this has been a long time coming. We've been gone for a couple of years. Last time we did the show. Welcome to ShckValue Live. We are here. We are back, and we are back in business, as they say. How you doing, Jazzy Name?
Yo, it's lit. It's lit. We back, baby. Oh, we back. And
Yeah.
I'm actually glad to be back. I honestly have to say though, real quick, that I am happy to be getting back into the whole press thing conversation deal because at the end of the day, I feel like there's more to me than just gaming. You know what I'm saying? So I am definitely excited to talk about the stuff that really matters outside of geek culture, that actually coincide with geek culture, gaming,
Yeah.
esports, and being a black brown individual, you know because all of it all goes together. So
Yeah, and we had kind of talked about this, off air, multiple
mhm,
times this week about what we kind of where our niche was, like where we fit, kind
mhm,
of in the atmosphere around the community.
yeah,
And I was doing the movie review thing for years, blogging, writing. I was doing the audio dramas for years. I was covering different TV shows and things like that. And I was
mhm,
like, I ain't never had as much fun as I had when I was doing live radio. When I was doing talk radio,
yeah,
because you can only rehearse this type of stuff so much. There's no
right,
script. I mean, if you really wanted to do a script, there could be a script. Um, but I think the spontaneousness of what we're doing right now is really exciting, and being able to sit here and we have our spiel every day or every episode. Oh, welcome, blah blah blah. But yeah, talking about the stuff we actually care about, not the stuff that we feel like people want to hear about, but the stuff that interests us. And because
right,
we are a part of the community, I know for a fact that what interests me and what interests you interests the people out there watching right now. So I'm excited to
right.
get into it. We got a handful of things that we're gonna toss around here. Nothing too crazy. I was
Big
saying on
facts.
Twitter, it's something. It's pretty light work considering what we've gotten into in the past. So
Yeah,
nothing too crazy.
for
Um,
sure.
Pretty good week. How was your week?
Well, considering we live together, um,
Right,
my
but we
week
actually spend
has
a lot of time away
time.
from each other.
We
So
do.
I ain't gonna like.
You know, DC stays busy. I stay busy. For the most part, uh, my week has, my week has been really, really good. I made an announcement on my stream this morning about an upcoming interview I have.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
Um, and since we're kind of putting it out there, I will be. Well, actually, no, I'm gonna wait till the closer to the end of the show. I want to wait till the end
Okay,
of the show,
okay.
but I will give people a hint in regarding this interview, and I'm gonna give you two words: Redfall, and I'm gonna leave it at
Oh,
that.
okay, okay. Like a little, like just like a quick tease,
Just, 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 just,
about
just, just a little something, something.
the.
Just a little something, something.
All right,
And
so I guess while we're on the topic of sort of what we got going on for shock value, I guess
mhm,
this iteration of the show, in the past I had taken shock value, and it was one of those deals where me and you would talk, we would do our thing and things, but I would also interview people I found interesting, people who were
mhm,
doing things, creative storytellers, musicians, artists, and getting them on the show to kind of speak on what it is they do and why they have a passion for it.
right,
And I think we're gonna continue that process with your interview is gonna be one of the things that's broadcasted on the show. We're going to start reaching out to some of our old connects again, and some of the people, some new people as well that we can bring on the show. So I'm just excited, man. Like I was just like, just sitting. I was at my day job. I was like, man, like I'm just hyped. Got off early for work today, and I'm just like, oh, let's go. So,
yeah, I got that call. I'm off work, and I was like, oh, thank God, because sheesh, my guy, like,
man. I was so
I like
happy
when he gets off early, because then it's like, okay, cool. I can just,
all right,
do what I gotta do.
We're gonna have what I call like an icebreaker, right? I'm gonna try something here. All right, this is like uncharted territory, but I'm gonna share the screen because I want you to see this. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So, can you see that?
No. Do you need? Hold on.
Here we go. Okay, I got it. This is this one right here. Here we go. All right, you can see that, right?
Hold on. Let me add it. There we go.
All right, can you see that?
Yeah, we all see it.
You can only keep 3 of these Disney animated films. All right, this is an exercise to get the show off. Which one of these are you choosing? You got a Princess and the Frog, Raya and the Last Dragon, which I haven't seen yet. Wreck-It Ralph, Big Hero 6, Tangled, Moana, Frozen, and Zootopia. You can only keep 3. You can only keep 3. Everything else has to go.
Okay, so what were the last 2 again?
All right, let's scroll down. Last 2 are Frozen and Zootopia.
Okay, so automatic, right off bat. Big Hero 6 and Moana are definitely staying.
Okay.
If I had to choose a third, like you, Raya and the Last Dragon, I have not seen it, so I can't.
Pretty good.
Yes, it's popular with the kids and the adults, so I'm.
All right, well, I mean, I guess at some point I'll check it out. It's probably on Disney Plus, huh?
It actually is. So we're both gonna have to sit down and watch it. But Big Hero 6 was definitely as soon as I seen Big Hero 6, I was like, y'all get rid of that. We fighting. Moana, I love that film. And I think it's mostly because I've had Hawaiian friends or Polynesian friends through college and my adult life. And so I love them immensely, and their culture is so beautiful. So definitely got to keep Moana. Most people would think I would say Princess and the Frog. And while it was an enjoyable movie because Anika Noni Rose, number one, is amazing. She's an amazing singer, actress, voice over artist. She's awesome. It wouldn't be one of my 3. I feel like there's more that could have been done with that, but that's a whole nother discussion for another show.
Oh, the Princess and the Frog?
Yes.
Really?
It's like it would have been nice to see more of her character, but just not as an animal, but whatever. I think I will go with it's gonna be a tie between
so you said
Tangled
Big Hero 6. You
Big
said
Hero 6, Moana staying, and I think it's going to be a tie between Tangled and Zootopia.
Okay.
It's a tie between those 2.
So for me, of the ones I've seen, because like I said, Raya is the only one. Have I seen Moana? I've seen Moana, but like, what do you call it? I've seen it. You know how you see something on like TNT or something playing, and you've seen enough of it over like the last couple of years that you've essentially seen the movie. That's what it is with like Moana. Like I haven't sat down and like watched it all the way through, but I've seen probably 95% of it.
Yeah.
I like The Princess and the Frog. Princess and the Frog. I'm gonna go Big Hero 6 and Zootopia probably. Princess and the Frog, Big Hero 6. The reason I actually like the second Wreck-It Ralph better than the first one. Like the first
that
one,
part.
I was like I went crazy about the first one. Tangled is kind of like whatever. Like there was a point when these movies, do you remember like when we were growing up, whenever a movie was announced, there was something special about being able to plan to go see like a specific movie, like when they would announce Aladdin was coming out back in the day, or they would announce. I remember when the big deal about Mulan, and Eddie Murphy was going to be in it. And I remember the stand-up posters where everyone was like, oh my gosh, and they announced that Joker, that they announced that thing like at the beginning of 97, that it was coming out in 98. And so you had to wait a whole year, for the premiere of the film, which is, we do that now. But I liked the simplicity of the marketing back then, whereas now trailers are everywhere. You don't know what to watch. Every network has a dozen different shows and a dozen different projects and a dozen different miniseries. We're just in the time of access. I find myself missing that sometimes. But my point was, there was a period where movies like Tangled were coming out so often, and the quality, it wasn't bad, but it hit like this level to where it was like, all right, we know it's not going to be a bad movie, but it's going to hit this certain, like it plateaued. Does that make any sense? Like it got to a point where it was like, all right, we pretty much know, without even watching some of these movies that are coming out, at what level they're going to be at,
Right.
But anyway, that was a little icebreaker. I know you had some things you wanted to get into in terms of what we were speaking on. So I guess to get it out there before we get into it, what all platforms are we broadcasting on this time around for ShckValue?
So for ShckValue, I have linked it directly to our YouTube channel. So this is feeding right into YouTube. And then there's also my Twitch channel. This isn't going to my Twitch channel right now. But for this first episode, we definitely wanted to go into the Twitch. For the first episode, we just wanted to strictly do YouTube, but I think we're going to keep it strictly YouTube because I know my Twitch channel is mostly my gaming and I do other content creation, but for this, I want this to stay on YouTube. But we'll probably create a ShckValue Twitch channel. That way we can have the episodes go there as well. But we could definitely, we're just making do what we have. This is first episode back, learning a new system and everything and just making sure we have what we need so we could be successful. And the cool thing about the platform we're using is you guys can leave us comments. You can interact with us in real time. So if you have questions about anything that we're discussing, you can type it in the chat and we'll see it. So yeah.
The wonders of the chat box, right? The chat feature on the streaming. That's pretty dope. Like I'm excited. Like I said, I think we've got some press work coming up this summer, and we're looking to get back in there a little bit. We took some time off. The pandemic happened. We were kind of it's like we pulled back and decided to just be a family for like 2 or 3 years. We just sort of were just living as a family, raising our children, enjoying life outside of just constantly being glued to, there's nothing, I love this type of work, but it's a lot of work, a weekly show. There's always that weekly prep. There's the pre-show. There's, any overlays and things you got to create and notes and all that good stuff. And I've been doing it for over a decade with podcasting and things like that too. So you get to a point where you're just like, all right, man, like, let me get a break. Let me get a decent break in there,
Yes.
So it is good to be back. I'm excited. I'm full of energy. I'm full of energy for this, which is important. So what was the first issue you wanted to get to today?
All right, y'all. So jumping right into it, I know for me, one of the topics that we had that we wanted to discuss was the whole issue with the stigmas and the problematic behaviors toward Black female athletes.
Yes.
Specifically.
Yeah.
And of course, somebody's probably going to come across this and be like, oh, they're race baiting and all this other stuff. And it's like, no. You cannot deny fact. No, because of course, anytime you bring up race, it's always race baiting. And it's like, okay, but we didn't create this issue. Anyway.
Yeah, they need to look up. As far as I understand, race baiting is where you are intentionally trying to bait someone of a different race into some sort of like trap argument in order
Right.
just to troll or something like that. I don't know. Like you're
That
intentionally
part.
saying or writing or doing things in order to upset someone of a different race.
Mm-hmm.
But I might be wrong. Somebody can tell us that, let us know what that actually means. But yeah, go ahead.
No, so the thing with that is that here's the thing: you cannot argue fact.
Right.
Okay, it has been literally shown all across media how black female athletes have been treated. And you can't
Mhm.
sit there and say, well, how do you know? No, they did it with Serena Williams when she tried to wear the cat suit because her doctor said she to prevent the blood clots and she's going to continue playing tennis. This was after she had Olympia, you
Right.
know? And these folks at this French Open and all these other opens were like, no, she can't wear that. What? Because she's thick? Her body shape, her body type. So you're body shaming her, and was preventing her from being able to take care of herself so she could play at her best. Sounds like a problem
Hmm.
because, as far as we're concerned, we've seen other non-black tennis players, female tennis players, wear cat suits and not have the same issue. It ain't our shape. It ain't our fault they built like stick figures. That's not our problem. Thickness runs within black culture and people who have melanin in their skin. We cannot. That's what?
Yeah,
Stop.
I'm at the point
Mm-mm.
now, man. Like it
You're
it's
laughing, but it's an
there's so
issue.
much. Well, it's so much to just exist as a person of color, as a black person. Like to just
Yeah.
exist and not bother somebody. To just do what you think you're doing, what you perceive to be the right thing that isn't hurting or harming anybody, and then somebody got a problem with it. They had a problem with Sha'Carri Richardson or with the nails and the weave and all this. I'm like, she's emulating people who came before her who did the
Mm-hmm.
same thing, and
Yep.
they probably inspired her with their awesome times. Now she's the fastest woman in the world, the fastest human in the world, and
Mm-hmm.
I guess people can't see beyond their own biases toward
Yeah.
why people do the things that they do. They're so
Mm.
interested in being offended by what somebody is doing, as opposed to sitting down, doing the research, talking to these people, talking to people in general to get a better understanding of what's going on. And
Wow.
when it comes to black women, for whatever reason, have this target on their back. And we were talking about this of pre-show. Why
Mm.
do people think that when a black woman is adjusting her appearance, it is because she wants to look even more attractive? Like there are reasons black women do things that are very practical in regards to what their sport is or what it is they're doing.
Yeah.
Um, and how many times, Jasmine, have we seen these posts about is what this black woman wearing too revealing for her class? And she's like a teacher or a student teacher, and she's just wearing regular clothes, but she she's thicker, right? Or her bottom sticks out, so it's like, yo, well, this ain't the club. And I'm like, what are you talking about? She's just a person.
She's wearing the
Excuse
same
me.
thing anybody without her body shape would wear. The only difference is because we have certain body types and shapes. It's more of an issue because it's too revealing.
And
You can't stop genetics, bruh. Like what?
I'm assuming there used to be something, I don't know, some type of community wisdom or something where people were like, you need to dress based on your body type, right? Because when you think about it, and the more I think about it, like when we were growing up, I think I mean, it probably still exists now, but there
Yeah.
existed this whole idea that if you looked a certain way, there was a certain clothes you weren't allowed to wear because people didn't want to see you in those clothes, right? It wasn't based on what you felt comfortable in or what you felt
Right.
awesome in. It was based on not disgusting other people. not grossing other people out. So if you were
Yeah.
overweight and you wanted to wear Hawaiian shirts, tough, or if you were overweight and you wanted to wear a certain type of bathing suit, or if you were overweight and you wanted to wear skinny jeans, you weren't allowed to do that. Not like you were going to be banned from society, but you know what I mean?
Right.
Like it was
Yeah.
a faux pas if you dressed a certain way and you had a certain body type.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's big facts.
And I think there's a part of that is why, Sha'Carri Richardson and people like that, black athletes, black women who are athletes get so much flack because they feel that someone with such a desirable body type shouldn't dress in such a way that extenuates that body type. You're supposed to dress in such a way that sort of conceals that body type so you look like everybody else, right?
And see, here's the thing with Sha'Carri Richardson, like, if you pay attention to most of the track athletes out there, their body types are very muscular. So if your muscles are built up, then that's going to look thick, but you're just muscular. You literally have a nice set muscular structure.
You have an athletic shape because you're an athlete.
Big facts. And then not only that, people have said this. I'm bringing this up because this a man came out of his old raggedy beard and decided, I said it. He came out of his raggedy nest-faced beard and decided to call her a man because he thinks she needs to look more feminine. What? Simone Biles? Like, okay, so they're either too thick or too manly. Nothing in between. What? Where is this ugliness coming from? Where is this nonsense coming from? Because at the end of the dang day, you can't say nothing to that woman. I guarantee he wouldn't say that crap to this girl's face because number one, she's young. Yeah. She's out here. She's winning. She's reaching her life goals while he out here being what I call a no-tip.
And it's obviously because they're intimidated by a woman not just being attractive, but also being athletically superior than they are. Because I guarantee you they can't do the things those women are doing. No. I promise you. It's something intimidating about a person who is more attractive than you, and then they're athletically superior, let alone, I guarantee you they're funnier than these people are. So I'm funnier than you. I can run, jump higher than you. I'm faster than you. I'm stronger than you. People think I look better than you. And I'm existing in a space that I don't even know you exist, and you're miserable. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That bothers people for whatever reason. Like they just, and it's
it's all personal issue.
It is.
It is definitely big time personal issue.
People will look at somebody who is living their best life or just existing. They don't even know what that person's going through, but they just assume they're living their best life. And when they look at that person, they see all of their flaws. Yeah. Because they can't appreciate themselves for who they are. So I don't like me, so I'm going to go diss this person who's clearly a successful, like Michelle Obama getting all that flack. Dude, shut up. Like,
you just mad because your wife don't even want to lay in the same bed next to you. Calm down, sir. Go back to the couch.
But that's what I feel like the problem with people who have a problem with Sha'Carri Richardson and black women athletes. I don't know why black women are targeted so often for some of the most petty, unnecessary, irrelevant, throw in any words you want to throw in there, where we could wake up, have our cup of coffee, have our bowl of cereal, and somebody goes, I don't think it's appropriate that Venus and Serena Williams wear those cat suits. What are they on the runway? What is this? A hip hop video?
They jealous, man.
What
it's
are
ridiculous.
You talking about? She just won the tournament again for like the 47th billionth time. So not only did she beat everybody that you think is dressed properly, whatever that means, she did it and did it her way. And she is the gold standard for which all the other tennis players align themselves. Everybody either wants to be her or Maria Sharapova, right? So you are your problem is essentially your problem with yourself. You've got to change your mindset on that. But people like that, they know what they be doing. Like that's one of those arguments where it's just like that's why we have stuff like this, so we can vent about morons who, because their lives are miserable, feel like they need to go in and say that Sha'Carri Richardson, probably the hottest athlete on the planet right now,
yep,
looks like a man.
Right.
She's
There was a I just seen an article of a lady who got the highest, who currently has the highest score on shot put.
Oh,
and
yeah.
She's from South Carolina. She did that. She was like, shot put is that ball is heavy. Like, I've held a shot put ball. That sucker is heavy. And,
that was dope. I saw that.
Yeah, and it's like Black women are excelling out here. Another example, Naomi Osaka. So we understand that when it comes to physical look, people are gonna have an issue when it comes to Black women athletes. I've even, and I'll just throw this in here real quick, even playing volleyball, you know what I'm saying? People had issue. Why are they wearing those short shorts? Some of them show too much. Shut up, because you're not on this court trying to win these sets in these matches. Like, chill out. Right. Nobody's gonna nobody's gonna play. Exactly. Nobody's gonna sit there. What female volleyball player is going to wear basketball shorts trying to run around and chase a ball that's going to make it harder for her to maneuver and be able to do? That's not what we're going to do. Okay, so then you have Naomi Osaka, the other side of it.
Yeah.
When it comes to mental health, my bad, y'all. When it comes to mental health and the concerns about that, she put it out there. I'm having issues and I don't appreciate some of these. And let's be real. Some of the people they allow into these press rooms, some of the news folk they let in there, they ask the dumbest questions. They ask the same questions over and over again. They just reword them. And it's just like,
that's sports media though, low key.
Yeah, I know. And
sports media is terrible.
But if somebody says that I'm having this issue and I don't want to really talk about it or address it, then they need to respect that, not press. Yeah. Because I understand you're pressed, but don't press the issue.
Yeah.
Don't do that.
I'll tell you, sports media is one of the least sensitive media. None of media is sensitive, by the way. But sports media is one of the least woke medias, for lack of a better word, out there. There's sports media is the bull in the china shop of media, followed by the tabloid media. But tabloid media is like the bull that likes to be in the china shop. You know what I mean? Like sports media thinks it's CNN for sports, but it is not.
It isn't, and it's trash because it's like
CNN's not a gold standard either, by the way. But keep going.
Listen. And yeah, acting like Stephen A. and Skip Bayless ain't the gold standard either. But anyway,
about nothing. But yeah.
Hold on. Let me see if I can.
Skills. Like, what is this?
Pull out that Shannon Sharp, just be like,
have their coffee. People get up, have their coffee, eat their bowl of cereal, and they watch the skill, and then he's just like,
it's like, what are you doing? And then Stephen A. so outrageous. Oh God, some of the things he says, even about Black female athletes, I'll be looking at him like, did you just?
He just said stuff like they just be saying stuff to provoke outrage. Like he'll sit there, LeBron James is one of the most overrated athletes in the world. I'm telling you right now, and people are like, what is he?
What are you talking about, stupid? But yeah, back to Naomi, even so but that ties into the media. If somebody's feeling like they're being overwhelmed, not only, and then she got fined. She's getting fined for saying that she doesn't want to do the press junkie. She's allowed. Yeah. What forces, where in there do they have to do these press junkets?
No, but okay, so check me out. That is a policy.
Part of their contract, right?
Yeah, it's a policy. Like NBA players will get fined often, and NFL players sometimes the way that they will, I guess, rebel against that is they'll show up and they'll just say yes to everything, or they'll say something like, "I'm just here so I don't get fined." So like, if you ever hear an
Marshawn
athlete,
Lynch, they gonna lynch it.
like that's what they'll say, because it's like, I
Yep.
don't feel like being here. I'm just here so I don't get fined. And they were like, "Oh, so what do you think about this?"
Nothing.
And then like Rasheed Wallace, both teams played hard. Know what I'm saying? Like, they don't even care. They're going through the motions. But yeah,
my thing
it's
is,
part of the
why is
policy.
that why is that even a policy? It's like, if you have played your game and you're tired and you're mentally exhausted, like you're mentally not able to go through and have a discussion or conversation with anybody, why do you need to sit there for about an hour and a half, maybe even that, however long they make them have these press junkets? Why force them to do that and then say, oh, well, because you didn't do it, you're getting fined? She has a right to take care of herself in any capacity that she needs to, and not have some organization paying her or not. It doesn't matter.
But the thing
She
is,
did
if it's in the contract, that's a
right. But here's the thing: that shouldn't be a forced. That shouldn't even be a policy, because at the end of the day, your mental health is more important than some interview with a bunch of people. I'm sorry,
so
it's gonna be.
yeah.
And the fact that they're coming down so hard on her, has anybody else said, I need to take a mental health day, or I need to take some time? Because I need to see if there's any other article where a non-black, non-person of color stated that they wanted to have a day, and the French Open and all these other people didn't try to blackball them. Because that's essentially what they tried to do, was blackball Naomi and try to ring her and say, well, you have to do it. And it's just like,
I don't see. All right, so this is the shock
and here's the
value.
thing: she's one of the most decorated, up and coming tennis players out there.
This is like
She beat
somebody
her
doing
idol.
this. This is like if somebody, for content for all the guys that are watching, this is like if somebody find Trey Young, or one of the up and coming stars in the league, like Luka Doncic got fined. We're in Dallas. Luka Doncic didn't want to do a press conference, so now he's in trouble. But go ahead.
Yeah,
I guess
I just think it's ridiculous. I honestly think it's ridiculous, because people have the right to take care of themselves, and no organization should have the ability to trump that person's say so and how they handle and take care of themselves. I don't care who you are, how much money you put into that person's pocket. She did her job. She played the game. And being forced to have to sit there and answer these remedial questions, and some of them ask the same stuff over and over again. Well, you beat Serena Williams. That was how long ago?
But that's the thing. The thing is, they're getting paid to do that.
Who's getting paid to do it?
She's getting.
So then you know what you do? You don't pay them for that.
But hang on. Part of the reason we pay these athletes millions upon millions upon millions of bucks is so that they can play the game. That's an important part of it.
Right.
But the endorsements, the commercials, the appearances, all of that is included. So I don't disagree that athletes should be able to state or should be able to act if they're not in a great mental space. I don't disagree with that. Yeah. However, I'm saying if that is something athletes in the future, or athletes now in the future, want to address, that's going to be something you have to sit down at the negotiation table and say, I get a certain number of mental space days where I do not have to sit in front of a camera after the match. Because the argument against everything you just said is that the fans of these sports and the fans of the game, they want to hear from the best players, right? They don't want to hear from Johnny on the bench who didn't even get into the game about why LeBron just scored 75 or how he was, or all the questions would be about the person, would be about the star. Nobody cares about what he thinks. So like it would, it's the difference between talking to Naomi and talking to her assistant, right? Or talking to the person out there calling the score, or you know what I'm saying? So it's not that I disagree, but it's one of those things they'd have to bring that to the negotiation table and say, maybe out of every 5 matches, 1 or 2. Yeah. But I think because they get paid so much money, I think the expectation is that that's part of the job, right? Yeah. So I don't know. It's just one of those things. It would essentially be like us negotiating more PTO, or, more sick days, or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
But it is a problem where and you know, you can throw celebrities in there as well with athletes and black athletes. You're right, we're lightning rods when it comes to these sort of things, because I feel
Yeah.
like if it was anybody else, the community as a whole would be more understanding. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Maria just needs time. You know, Sharapova. She's done so much for the sport. Give her some time. You know, Naomi's
Mm-hmm.
she's relatively new in the game. She's a star. She's a superstar, but she's newer. You know, her race plays a huge role because she's, you know, half and half, Japanese, half
Mm-hmm.
black. So because she's such a I don't know if polarizing is the right word, but because she's such a crucial figure to the game right now, I think that's why it's such a hot button topic, man. But you're right. I think it is something that needs to be addressed when it comes to athletes dealing with, you know, not being in a safe space. It's funny you
Yeah.
brought that up because I remember years ago, I don't know if it was 2008, 2009, there was a basketball player who was 6'8", same height as LeBron, and he was
Mm-hmm.
being touted as a point guard. And one of the big news articles about this guy, his name was Royce White, was that
Mm.
he was afraid to fly. He was afraid to fly planes,
Oh
and
wow.
so to fly on planes.
Uh-huh.
And he eventually, you know, he got out of the league. It was like a huge anxiety issue, and society as a whole didn't even know. We just didn't know how to get. People were saying, "Get over it. You'll be fine. Just get over it." You
No,
know.
if that's a legitimate
And
fear.
he was, I don't quote me on this, but I believe he was taking like the bus and Greyhound to different places when he was in college. And then when he got to the league, he was like trying to he was trying to like drive to different places, and they were like, "Hey, let's try short flights first so you can get used to it." But he was
Mm-hmm.
terrified of it,
Yeah.
and it was one of the reasons he didn't get drafted. But
Mm.
society as a whole hasn't really figured out how to handle the relatively new realization that our minds are just as important as our bodies, right?
Right.
Um, I think our parents and our grandparents have dealt with just getting over it or pushing through it, powering through it for so long. Now that our generation and the generation after us are pushing for people to consider, hey, I may be physically okay, but I'm this close to being thrown into the nut house because I'm crazy right now. You
Right.
know, um, I don't think we're not quite there yet in terms of how we're supposed to handle that as a society.
I agree. There's definitely a lot of work to be done, but again, I feel like well, I wouldn't even say again, but I'll throw this point out there. It all boils down to how people view us as a black culture, black people. That's
Yeah,
what it boils down to. There's always going to be something that's wrong, something not right, something that doesn't meet the standards, something that goes against everything that everybody society deems unworthy. And it's just like, who cares? Let us exist. Stop having issues with our body. Stop having issues with how we look. Who cares? It's not you. It's not affecting you. It's not affecting how you live, your employment, your lifestyle, who you're with, whatever. Just stop. Overall,
yeah,
just let us live. You know what I'm saying? And
yeah,
when it comes, uh, just again, the stigmas against black female athletes is it's always something. We're lauded when we're doing stuff that society agrees with, but then when it comes down to it, like with the whole, when actually the WNBA gets hella flack. They get flack
yeah.
simply just for existing. And I'm like, these women out here be balling on this court. They could outball some of these dudes in the NBA, if you ask me. And I'm not saying that to be funny or controversial, but I've seen them. You know what I'm saying?
The
Um,
WNBA is a whole another basket of apples, low key. Like
it really
that's
is,
that's
but
one of them things where
they
they
catch
didn't
that flack. They do.
they catch the
Getting
flack,
judged
but
for
here's the
who they
thing.
are, like it's like, oh, well, they're in the WNBA, and like I've seen, and this is not even trying
Yeah,
to be funny. I've seen little jokes. So if you go in the WNBA, you're gonna turn gay, and it's just like, what?
Yeah, that was a big thing for a while. That's a whole nother conversation. That's a whole nother
That is another conversation. But what I'm saying is this: it's the negative stigma against women who are drafted into the WNBA, and the fact that they're having a fight to get higher, better pay wages
benefits and pay.
and
I think
better contracts.
the big thing right now is that they fly commercial,
Mm-hmm.
whereas the men, they fly private.
They got private jets and stuff like that, and we get it. The WNBA isn't making as much income, I guess, as the NBA, but still,
Like I
if you're
said, it's
gonna,
a whole nother conversation because
it
it's
is.
one of those things where I understand what the issue is from the player's point of view, but I think there's just a lot of different. Like
It is.
I think the way the league has been marketed the last 20 years hasn't been good. There's just a lot of different things. They don't, like you said, the income, but they got raises. You know what I'm saying?
They did.
I just don't think the league is. I don't know. I don't think the right people are in place for the league to truly get to where the players want it to be right now. They may get there eventually, but right now, in terms of the actual play on the court, players are great. But the way the game for women is presented in basketball, that's just the problem. But anyway,
the reason why I even threw in the WNBA is because that's one of the other professional sports groups that has a lot of controversy. It's pretty much anywhere you go, you know what I'm saying? And it's just like really kind of messed up because it's like Black women doing what they do. The only time it's approved is when it's like, oh, we're winning, people their championships for their team or doing whatever. We're making them happy.
When
And
the
then
WNBA team wins, it's like it's cool for like that night on Twitter, and then the next day
after that,
we talking about something else. Like,
exactly.
if we're gonna be honest about it.
Exactly. And just to let y'all know, Sha'Carri Richardson is from, excuse me, it's Sha'Carri. She did correct people back then. Her name is pronounced Sha'Carri.
Oh, word. Okay. Sha'Carri Richardson. Okay.
Sha'Carri Richardson is from Dallas. So
DW
Texas represent. Much love to you, homegirl, because baby, she flies. Was it what she did? 10.84 seconds on her run? 10.64? She did something, but it was fast. That's all I know. That's faster than me.
Sonic or something, yeah.
Listen, that's fast. Listen, if y'all ask me to run 100-meter right now, it's gonna take me like 20 minutes. Don't play.
20 minutes? Yo.
I'm a speed walk it. I'm a speed walk it. I don't run.
I always say, like, if you want to find out what somebody's true speed is, send like somebody wielding a knife after them. We'll see how fast everybody is.
I will run like I stole somebody hubcaps off of a Tesla. Don't play with me.
Yo, so somebody, it's been brought up on Twitter a lot about how people would totally dig the idea of a regular person, competing alongside the athletes. So for reference, so we can kind of see how good athletes are at what they do. So
that needs to happen.
Sha'Carri Richardson running against our next door neighbor, just to see how much faster everybody is than
too big for that. No, leave that alone. Stop it. That's no.
Well, I was talking about upstairs neighbors because the women, you still women competed, but you see what I'm saying though. Like, have an average person shot put against some of the greats. So not only because there is something to be said, like when they tell you the scores and you're like, that's amazing, but you're also like, I guess, right?
Yeah,
that's amazing, right? Because the announcer goes, that's incredible. I'm like, oh, okay, well, that's incredible because they made it seem like it was a big deal. So I guess that's good, But I obviously have no idea. Like, you don't really know unless you've competed in that sport yourself, So it's just one of those things I think is pretty interesting idea. I don't, obviously.
The sports I've been involved in are volleyball, softball, and cheerleading. And I guess within the last 5 years, cheerleading's officially been called a sport.
Oh, it's only been 5 years? I thought it was longer than that.
Like, they weren't calling it a sport when I was in high school.
Well, how long has it been since you've been in high school? That was a while ago, right?
I know, that's what I'm saying. Within the last 5 years, give or take, like our son was a toddler when I heard conversations of them talk about, oh, is cheerleading officially a sport? And there was
Okay.
like big debates about it. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And and I keep track of that type of stuff because I love seeing the competitions and things like that. That's work. But again, people had issues with the stuff that they wear. It's like, well, why do they have why do the why do the skirts have to be short? Who's going to tumble in a long skirt? Like, who's going to do
All
any
right.
of that? And we're wearing what they
Yeah.
call bloomers to cover our undies anyway, so you can't see anything, or shorts. You know what I'm saying? So people's gripes about things, like, I get it to some extent, but you have to look at what exactly they're doing. If you're playing basketball and you're running back and forth, you don't want to wear anything that's gonna encumber you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's why when you play softball, you have a whole uniform that covers you, but it's like it's really tight to you. You know what I'm
All
saying?
right.
Like,
All
it,
right. All right. I got you. I
you
got
know,
you. All right. I
you
get
got
you.
me, but you didn't let me finish my point.
What? I'm just saying, like, I get it. Like,
You get it, but I'm not explaining it for you. I'm explaining it for the people.
I mean, you going, I was just like, we got other stuff to talk about, man.
What else do we have to talk about? Because the whole show is about
All right.
Black women
So
athletes.
I wanted to get, well, I told you I had a handful of things. So I wanted to
Lord.
get your opinion on the power of social media when it comes to not cancel culture. This isn't about cancel culture, but
Thank
the
God.
power of how social media can be used in a negative way, right? So like the whole
Whoa.
situation with Trick Daddy, you heard about that, right?
Him talking about that
So
Beyonce can't sing.
Trick Daddy said that Beyonce can't even really sing and that Jay-Z is not nearly as legendary as people make him out to be for whatever reason, right? I don't agree, whatever, Beyonce is but the whole thing with Jay-Z, I think Jay-Z has done his thing for the industry, but it's his opinion. Just
I
like
got
we're
something to say
sitting
about that.
here talking about our opinions, right?
Mm-hmm.
So apparently the Bayhive, is it the Bayhive or the Beehive?
The Bayhive. It's
Beehive?
Bayhive. BEY.
Bayhive.
Bay.
Okay.
Bayhive.
I assume that's what it was. They went to Google reviews and reviewed Trick Daddy's restaurant poorly on purpose so that he got, I think it's 2.6. I think it's actually lower than
2.4 was the last I
now.
saw.
Yeah, 2.4 now. So that's affecting his money. It's affecting his business. Here are some of the reviews. Okay. I'm going to do the thing where I let you guys see what I'm talking about. All right. Let's I'm sharing the screen. That's what they call it. Wow. I sounded like an old man. Okay. All right, here we go. You see that?
There you go.
All right, you guys see that, right?
Yes, we can see it.
Okay. Disgusting.
Just to let you know, there's a 10-second delay. So, yeah, they can see it.
Disgusting food. Seriously, though, the service was so bad and the food was so subpar. Definitely do not recommend this restaurant. They can't even sing. And so that's so petty. They're leaving the B signs.
Close our chat.
They're leaving the B signs. And you can see like Corey Goodman. The food was appalling. I've never in my life tasted such filth. The lemonade, on the other hand, was divine. You over there laughing.
I'm laughing because
me after drinking a milkshake knowing I'm lactose intolerant.
What? What is
that? Wait a minute.
That was not a part of our segment, sir.
Yo, I was clicking
What is happening?
I was trying to click over to see if there were more comments. But yeah, man, like I don't know how I feel about that. I feel like that's not cool. So answer was hilarious.
The source you got it from, in case y'all didn't pick that up, the source he got it from was the Shade Room. You should have went to the Shade Room's Instagram. You would have seen plenty of comments on that. But
you did. You thought it was funny. You think it was funny?
No. What I thought was funny was the fact that, hold on, I gotta plug myself in here real quick.
Ooh, the fly.
Oh Lord, is it the same one?
Yeah, it's that big old chunky one.
Oh God, where's my plug? Thank you. Oh, sweet Jesus.
But yeah, I didn't think it was cool. I think
Lemonade was the name of the album that Beyonce had released. or whatever.
I
But
think there's something to be said, like going too far with stuff like that, man. Like,
yeah.
I don't because the internet isn't really regulated in any real serious way. People you can really do whatever you want to within the schemes of the internet, right? Like you could
Yep.
sell, you could put up pictures of electronics that you don't even have, take people's money, and then when they ask where's my stuff, completely delete everything, and just that's the scam. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
people can do anything on the internet, and I'm pretty sure Google can go back through and, it seems like the Bayhive peeps left the B there, and it's easy to identify the comments. So Google
Right.
could go through and erase them and things like that. But it's
But
just
are they
petty.
gonna?
I don't know. It's just real petty. We'll have to
It
check back,
is.
like, a couple, maybe I'm gonna check back next week just to see how, the state of his score. But it's like,
Okay, here's my
dang,
thing
man.
though. Here's the thing though. I Trick Daddy has this complex about himself. Now for those of y'all who don't know, I watched the Ratchet TV known as Love and Hip Hop. And I watched the Love and Hip Hop Miami season, Miami series, with Trina and everybody. And my thing with Trick Daddy is that he moves about a way that makes you kind of go, yeah, we respect you as an artist. But at the same time, do I agree with attacking his business? No, I don't. I mean, they could have went into his comments and, did all the B stuff like they do everybody else. But sometimes he just says stuff at the side of his neck. And it's just like, sir, what are you talking about? You're stuck in like 2001, 2002. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I'm saying. It's like for him to even open up his mouth to say anything negative about somebody who is probably not even really paying attention to him. It's like he did that same stuff with Trina. He tried to sit there and say that, she, what people wanted from her music was what they were doing years ago. And it's like, okay, but the scene has changed. The tone has changed. Things have changed in 20 years, my guy.
Right.
Like, understand that. But
So he's one of those
he
people that I don't know. I don't even know what you would call that.
he's stuck in the past. He is stuck in the past. He's stuck in his glory days. And it's just like
Right.
it's like, no, Jay-Z is a legend in his own right. Point blank period. We all know that. The man's
That
been
just
in the
sounds
business for
like
years.
hating to me.
That's what I'm saying. He sounds like he said that stuff and didn't think anybody was going to retaliate. And it's just like, okay, but
come on. He knew people were
I don't
refuse
think
to
he knew.
believe
I honestly don't think he knew. I
that
legitimately
dude wanted to have a conversation, and so he said some wild offhand stuff.
But see, that's what I'm
can't
saying.
be a celebrity and not know that people are going to respond to what you say, especially if it's a controversial take like that or opinion like that.
But here's the thing. He obviously didn't care because he was like,
He
thanks
didn't care.
everybody. Because honestly, with them doing that, it still brought him business anyway. But at the same time, it's like sometimes you just need to shut up because you speaking on the situation, you speaking on somebody and their talent. It's like, sir, we haven't heard a song from you in I don't know how long, so be quiet.
Well, I don't know if that's fair, man. Like, I
How is that not fair? We ain't had.
Everybody should be entitled to their opinion as long as it's not like I think we should kill all the black. Like, as long as it's not something crazy, I think even Trick Daddy is entitled to that opinion. What they essentially did was give him they left a bag of poop on his porch and lit it on fire. You know what I mean? Like they did something real petty. They did something real childish. And like I said, it can be fixed. It can be removed. But it's just one of those things where it's like, I could voice a political opinion and you can disagree with it. You don't have to go and try to get me fired from my job. Again, I'm speaking on things that are not opinions on whether or not people should live or whether or not people should be free, right? Because that's something completely different. But in terms of, hey, I think that we should do this I think we should do this with the roadways. I think we should handle the money this way. It's my opinion, right? Like, hey, I think this artist is dope. I think this artist is trash. My opinion, okay? Now, I still think he said it to just provoke conversation, right? Because we're talking about it right now. I think it was one of those issues where he was just like, hey, you know, he might actually feel that way. But I think it was an opportune time for Trick Daddy. Trick Daddy wanted some attention. You know what I'm saying? He ain't released nothing in a while. You know, they're not even calling him Trick Daddy anymore. They just calling him TD, you know, up at the job. Hey, what's up, TD? You know what I'm saying? He wanted to spark some news headlines. And so he decided to say something out of pocket, you know, and that's okay. TD said something out of pocket, right? So give him credit.
Yep. Make a hit song and become relevant again,
man.
sir.
Like, I honestly don't know. I just think he just wanted to spark conversation.
That's not sparking conversation by being an open hater. Come on. That's not, I mean, yeah, we're
talking
about
it right now.
We're talking about it, but he's a hater. He was he went full-blown hater.
Talking about this man in his restaurant right now.
Listen, he had an opinion about another man's wife.
Oh, don't make it. See, you're making it like more personal than what it actually was.
Let me finish. Let me finish.
Oh,
he's making an opinion about somebody else and their ability to sing.
Yeah.
Knowing he sound like a frog even when he talk. And then wants to turn around and say that somebody is not a legend in their own right. It's like, okay, he's been out just as long as Trick Daddy has. The only difference is Jay-Z's still relevant right now. Trick Daddy's only relevance is through his restaurant. I do not, and now here's the thing. I am glad and I am happy that Trick Daddy was able to open a restaurant and feed people because I know that's part of his passions. I have no qualm with that. But your actions will get a reaction. The reaction was whole entire slew of fans.
Yo, that's why I think
every action has a pro and a con. These brought about consequences, and so it's like, okay, well, that came with the territory.
Okay. So you're just saying. So my whole thing was, I didn't think it was cool what they did, but now, like you're saying, okay, well, there are consequences. You know, you can have your opinions, but you know, don't be so surprised when people react. I mean, fair enough. You know, if we're gonna live in the wild, wild west, that is the internet. You know. That's what WWW stands for. The Wild Wild West. You live in the Wild Wild West. You make you're gonna sling your guns. You're gonna make these opinions that aren't backed by anything other than your gut. And you know, you smell like chicken grease, and they're calling you TD, and you want them to call you Trick Daddy. You got to be careful. You have to be careful, Trick Daddy.
Desmond.
But he accomplished his goal. His goal was to get us talking about him, and I still don't know what he said.
Hold on, but was that the goal?
Wait, let me ask you this question:
Was that the goal?
What does Trick Daddy look like? He sells for food. What does he look like he would have in his restaurant without even looking at the menu? Like
Southern cooking.
Just looking at him, Southern cooking.
He reminds me of the uncle that's like, listen, I'm gonna cook you we're gonna whip up some mac and cheese. We're gonna do some collard. He's one of those dudes that you look like and be like, yeah, he gonna get you a soul food plate.
He looks like he would fry a gator tail and put it in a hoagie. That's what he looks like. And like a couple pickles. You know how they cut the onion in half and then they get the onion strips.
Yo, I'm about to end the broadcast. No.
Get a couple of the onions.
He said alligator stop. I'm crying.
He looks like he would fry an alligator tail. Peanut oil, you know, with any kind of oil. It doesn't matter. Avocado oil.
He lives in Florida. He is from Miami, so alligator.
You know. Salt and pepper it up.
Stop it.
You can see him with the bulges.
I'm not finna put. Somebody come get this man.
Yo,
I quit. I mean, I'll stay married to him, but come get him.
It's probably pretty good. When you season
from what I've heard, his restaurant serves very delicious food. I'm not knocking his success with that because I know it's been open since I believe a little before the pandemic hit, for a couple years now or whatever. But I'm not knocking his success. But again, like we stated, you just got to watch what you say sometimes because your opinion may be your opinion and that you stand by that and that's fine. But don't trip when people react.
Yeah.
That's just the end result on that one. He got stung by the international worldwide Bayhive. So,
Oh God.
and he's not the only one. Anytime anybody say anything about Beyonce, them bees is in them comments on the Shade Room, and then folks' Instagrams and Twitters. The Bayhive, y'all better quit. Listen, leave Beyonce alone, please. Leave Mrs. Knowles Carter alone. Just
I
let
mean, it's one
them
of
do
those things
them.
where you wonder if people just want the attention, because when you see, it's like you're supposed to learn from other people's mistakes. Like
Yeah.
if I see somebody get trashed, I mean absolutely trashed. Like we don't know if he lost a lot of money from what they did, but it's embarrassing.
It is.
So if I saw that happen to Trick Daddy TD, I would just avoid that community, you know. I would do my best to. I would just fry my gator tail and
Shut
keep it
up with the
moving.
damn gator tail. I swear if you say that one more
All right.
time.
I have one more thing, and I have some encouraging words. And do you have anything else?
I don't killing me with this gator tail. I'm sick of you.
Peanut oil.
Oh.
What would you, because you can't really you serve
Oh,
fries
here he
with
go.
that?
God, my eyes. Can you
Fried
what?
pickles? What do you serve on the side with that? It's coleslaw?
Probably.
Gator tail and coleslaw?
Probably like a different type of Floridian, a Floridian version of a coleslaw. You know, they might have. I mean, because you mentioned po' boy, so they might have like,
That's what I'm saying, like a gator tail po' boy.
It's gator tail po'. You probably might put pickles in there. You might put some hot sauce on that bad boy.
Yeah, he
Listen,
cuts it in the cubes and toss it.
I don't think he would cut it that way to just be slap bread
You're the
tail.
slaughterhouse over the top, like ah. Yo, okay.
Oh my gosh.
Sorry, TD. You're doing a great job, I'm assuming.
He is doing a great job. His restaurant's still making money. It ain't shut down. It ain't violating no laws or nothing. But he, like I said, he just got stung. And
yeah.
life goes on. And no, I'm not hold on, wait. Let me say this. If it's about alligator tail, no. Okay.
It's about Rick Ross and his Wingstop talking about he want to add thigh. What is it? Thigh stop?
What?
He want to put more focus on the thighs. I'm not fat shaming, okay? I am appetite shaming. Wingstop is enough. You don't. That was the whole point of Wingstop, right? Was that you have your wings, you got your fries, you got your drinks. If they wanted to be a chicken place, they would just be a chicken place. It's like it's like bar food, right? So I saw it the other day where he was trying to incorporate. I guess he wants to incorporate recipes with chicken thighs. Like he just wants Wingstop to be KFC now. I don't know. I don't know. Admittedly, this wasn't the most researched thing. I just saw it and laughed for like a minute and a half. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. So, did you hear about Scooby-Doo and Courage the Cowardly Dog? They're going to team up. Did you hear about that?
No, I did not.
There is, according to Sci-Fi Wire, Scooby-Doo and Courage the Cowardly Dog. There's a trailer out for this epic crossover of pop culture's most famous canines. Yeah, it is interesting. Scooby-Doo and Courage the Cowardly Dog. I still say Courage looks like a cat or something, but we're gonna be crossing paths. The digital and DVD is falling this September. Straight Out of Nowhere is a must-see for longtime fans of the old school cartoon shows. That's gonna be going down this September. Thought that was pretty cool. And then it sparked this whole conversation about how Courage the Cowardly Dog was scarier than most horror films. Apparently, did you find that show scary? I didn't really find Courage the Cowardly Dog scary. I found it weird and strange.
I did find it weird, but it was so entertaining to me as a kid that I watched every time it came on.
Yeah,
so
I didn't think it was scary.
I didn't find it scary. Now, for some of the younger kids, most likely.
How old were
But
we?
Courage was running in like 2006. I remember
Yeah.
seeing and hearing about Courage
Yeah, I don't, when I think
like
of the
after I
show,
graduated high school.
yeah, I don't, when I think of the show, fear is not one of the things that comes to mind. I think about the comedy aspect of the show more than the scariness. But
Hmm.
that's that's whatever. You got anything else? I'm gonna
Oh
close out.
no. Okay, so wait a minute. Courage the Cowardly Dog had been around, started in 1996. I was wrong.
For it's been around. It was that early. That was
I
in
literally
the mid '90s, like that.
mid 90s. First episode date February 18, 1996. Final episode date November 22nd, 2002.
Wow. Doesn't it feel like it was an early 2000s show? Like I was
It
thinking
felt like it.
2002 to like 2005 or something. You know what I mean?
I'm trying to think back. You know what? That actually makes sense because I remember, you know, uh Cartoon Network being super popular when, before I hit middle school, like late elementary, early middle school years.
Mm-hmm.
And so
There were
that
so many
that
good
that
shows back then.
timeline makes sense because
Yeah.
that was back when Hey Arnold was doing this thing because that was the late 90s.
Hey Arnold was 99 or was it
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
97?
Hey
Yeah.
Arnold, that genre of cartoons, the Rugrats, all of that was out at the same time.
Stella,
Courage the
stop barking.
That's our Stella Louise, y'all. Our Stella Louise, our German Shepherd Labrador mix.
She's looking at the door like,
She
but
mad.
yeah.
She big mad. But yeah, I quick Google search, y'all. I just
That was
looked it up.
interesting.
And I didn't know it was, but now that I think about it, a kid at that age would think it was scary. I didn't think it was scary, but there are some times where I was like weirded out or creeped out, but it wasn't like scary.
And it's also something to be said about when we actually caught it. Because I didn't necessarily watch Courage like when there were new episodes. I caught it probably the 99, 2000s. I was catching the rerun.
The reruns.
I was older. That's interesting. That's cool.
Well, the 99 2000s was still new episodes being dropped because I remember it would come on right before Toonami and stuff did.
So I must have not have just been like a every week watch for me.
Yeah.
But what I remember seeing it, like they would show reruns like Saturday. I remember seeing reruns on I'm sorry, I said Saturday. It was during the week I would see reruns of it. I'm like, yeah, this is an okay show. Like, I thought it was funny. I thought it was weird. Like the first thing that comes to my mind with Courage is that it was just an odd show. It was weird. Like Invader Zim, it was just a weird show. You know what I mean? Like you had all these popular touchstones of the 90s and early 2000s, and those were among them. But man, the stuff we grew up with was so weird.
Super weird, but it was entertaining. Like it kept us tuned in. We'd play outside and then come back inside and watch our cartoons.
One of these days, we're gonna have to have one of those. You can only keep threes with those shows, so we can kind of get into what we like about them.
I'm gonna say there's a bunch of those. You just gotta look for them. They're out there.
I had a lot of fun tonight. I'm excited for
what
we
a
have
success
coming down the pipe. First successful episode. We're gonna have more bells and whistles. I think this is a pretty standard for the show because one of the things I want to make sure is that we don't add too much media, too many bells and whistles to the point where we get muted or part of the show can't be shown because it's not our actual
content,
stuff so I'm enjoying the vibe right now. I'm excited,
I mean, I don't think they're gonna sit there and be like, you can't show that. It's like, it's my Twitter page. Like, what? Shut up.
No. Yeah, I'm saying like if we decided, okay, well let's watch this 5-minute clip of it. People like to throw all this crap in there.
DMCAR behind.
Yeah. But one last thing I wanted to run by everybody. I saw this on social media. I thought it was pretty meaningful. And it says, when you're not used to being confident, confidence feels like arrogance. When you're used to being passive, assertiveness, feels like aggression. It says when you're
Mm,
not used to being passive, assertiveness feels like aggression. When you're
mm,
not used to getting your needs met, prioritizing yourself feels selfish. Your
mm-hmm,
comfort zone is not a good benchmark. When you're
mm,
not used to being confident, confidence feels like arrogance. When you're used to being passive, assertiveness feels like aggression. When you're not used to getting your needs met, prioritizing yourself feels selfish. Your comfort zone is not a good benchmark. I think that's important for our contemporaries and people our age. And, you know, you go to work every day and you have kids, maybe you don't have kids, you have your goals that you're trying to meet. We all have these relationships, romantic or not, where we feel as if we're overstepping our bounds. And in reality, we're just asking for bare necessities. We want love, we want admiration, we want validation, whether we admit it or not. We want all these things from the people who call themselves saying that they love us. And when we're not getting those things and we ask for them, sometimes we're getting turned away as if what we're asking for is just this. You're like we're asking people to move mountains, and in reality, you're just asking for your bare essentials. You're just asking for what you need. But what did you think about that?
hmm. I'm still marinating in that.
It's
I'm
good
still.
though. I
It is
think
good.
um, the part about your comfort zone not being a good benchmark, obviously, most of the good and most of the change, I'll say, good or bad, happens when you
Hmm.
step out of your comfort zone.
Yeah.
Most of the time, it's more positive from what I've experienced and what other people have told me. Usually, when you step out of your comfort zone and do things that you wouldn't normally do, and you do them boldly, good things happen. So
Right.
I believe that to the fullest. I believe when you assert yourself around people who aren't used to seeing you assertive, they're gonna call you aggressive. They're gonna say, "Whoa, what's gotten into you today? You're real, you're real up here when you're usually kind of, chill, laid back, like, hey, everything's cool." And you're just like,
Yeah.
"Hey, I'm taking the day by the horns today, man. I don't feel like letting life run over me. I don't feel like the same old thing. I'm taking life by the horns, and
Yeah.
this is what it looks like when I take life by the horns. I don't know what to tell you."
That's
Um,
facts.
but yeah, y'all
Oh,
married on that. You
hold
got
on.
anything? Yeah,
I do.
you got
Something else that
anything?
the people, yes, something else that I believe people should marinate on. And this is going forward because I know that a lot of as content creators, we kind of get stuck in this whole bubble and really fighting with imposter syndrome and our own doubts and our own thoughts and how we approach things, especially when it comes to what we're creating. And
Yeah.
something I want to share with everyone is actually a quote on my Instagram. It's on my Instagram. Um, and I highlighted it and it says, uh, but we must not allow someone else's experience to set the boundaries for our own expectations.
Hmm.
Um,
Read it again.
it says, but we must not allow someone else's experience to set the boundaries for our own expectations. Meaning, yes, you see other people becoming partner on Twitch
Right,
or
right.
partner on Facebook for
Mhm.
Facebook gaming. You see other people making and reaching these accomplishments. And you know what? That's them. Be happy for them. For your own journey, understand it comes at your own pace. Understand that you will only get as far as you allow yourself to want to go.
Right.
And you also have to understand that you don't live in a box. They don't live in a box, I'm sure, but don't put yourself in a box trying to be like them.
Yep.
Because then the only thing you're going to do is hinder yourself. And it's something that I've started saying to myself on a regular basis because there have been too many times where I felt like, especially throughout the month of May, I started feeling like, okay, well, in March, I was in February, I kind of, reopened my, the streaming thing because I just needed an outlet for my love of gaming. And
Yeah.
then in March, I started fundraising. I did a really huge fundraiser uh, for a nonprofit organization. And, I started meeting people. And as the time has gone through, I'm just like, I'm not really getting where I want to go. Da, 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 da. And then, for the past couple months, I have, linked up with an amazing talent agency that has shown me that there's a lot that's possible out there, and it doesn't have to be something super big. You just have to make it yours.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's what matters. Same thing with our with ShckValue. Like, Honey said, we've been, courtesy of him, he's been doing this longer than me, but he got me into content creation, like for real content creation in 2013. Uh, Back when we first started dating. So, and it's been 8 years since that. But on my own, I've been able to step into work into press media, and then bringing my, my gaming channel to life, and doing podcasting and stuff like that. And so I don't limit myself to what I did. I look at myself as like, okay, well, what else can I do that still allows me to be true to Jazzy, not interfere with my personal life, but if anything, embraces it,
Yeah.
or not. I wouldn't even say embrace, more kind of vibes with it, or it matches with it. It just runs with it. You know what I'm saying? And it's something that I love and that I'm passionate about. And doing press and media, ShckValue, stuff like this, I love it. I love it. So yeah, I'm gonna read it one more time. The quote says, "We must not allow someone else's experience to set the boundaries for our own expectations." Take that how you want it, but I want you guys to have a very good weekend.
Yeah.
I really
Yeah.
do. It's
I think,
Friday.
yeah, it's Friday. It's the good weekend, and I just want content creators who may be watching this, do what you want to do, make what you want to make, and your fans are gonna vibe with it because they vibe with you. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
There's something to be said about going back to why you fell in love with what you're doing and to begin with, because everybody wants the 10 million subscribers. Congrats, Corey Kenshin. We're gonna miss you, but not
Mm-hmm.
everybody can get that. You are going to be as impactful in whatever community you end up being in. So if you have those 10 to 12 people who watch your videos and comment and like and share, embrace those 10 to 12 people, love on them because they love on you, and respect the fact that everybody starts somewhere. There are 68-year-old bestsellers who wrote their bestseller when they were in their 60s. You know what I mean? So it can
Mm-hmm.
happen at any given time. And the whole point of content creation, yes, being seen and being heard is a part of that. But the ultimate goal, I don't think, shouldn't just be, I want to be famous or I want to be popular. You're supposed to be bringing to light creativity, using your platform to inspire. And that's through gaming too. There are a
Mm-hmm.
lot of gamers who inspire people. There are a lot of shows like
Facts.
this where we sit here and talk about what we're talking about, and it's just important that to be open and honest with yourself. Is this really what I'm built for?
Yeah.
Am I built for the grind of being a content creator?
Mm-hmm.
Is this something I want to be my life? Is this more of a hobby? Do I want to focus on gaming by itself? Do I want to focus on movie reviews? Do I want to focus on talk show? Do I want to focus on audio drama? Am I a comic artist? Am I a comic strip artist? All these different things that we all do in the community. Uh, Find out what it is that you love, what you can do at a consistent rate, even if you do it once a week. That's the best you can do a week. Do it once a week, okay? Don't put these expectations on yourself that you just know that in the back of your mind, I'm not sure I can handle these expectations I'm putting on myself. That's me speaking from personal, man. Like, there sometimes we get caught up in the yesteryear and what we were doing back in the day, and how much we were working at things. And I'm like, I gotta remember, I didn't have kids back then. I wasn't married.
Mm.
So I had plenty of time to mess around with all this foolishness, right? Now that things have changed, I got to pick and choose what I want to get into. You know, so I know some of you guys watching are a lot younger than we are, and you have all that time. My suggestion to you as a content creator right now is to build your foundation, what you know, even more so. I spent the last 2 or 3 years learning how to video edit so that I can, you know, put out edited content, you know, and in addition to this, what we're doing right now, you know, she worked on streaming and overlays and website building. Like, we improved our skill set in addition to chasing our passions and hobbies. So as a content creator, don't get so caught up in if you're famous or if people know you, or, you know, I want to get to a point where I make appearances at events and things. That's okay. That's okay to have goals like that.
Goals, yeah.
But if you don't meet those particular types of goals, make sure that your foundation is still there. All right. Don't be walking around here and you don't know how to do this and do that. You don't have a prepared notes or anything on just the foundation of what it is you're doing, and then expect people to come knocking at your door and send you emails because you're you know. Tone the ego down, work hard on the fundamentals, and you'll get to where you'll go eventually, even if those expectations seem crazy right now. But we will definitely come back next week. I think for the program, we have a special edition of the program. So I'm not sure if we're gonna be on Friday, because I'm having some ideas of how we can do the show. We may have a segment that is pre-recorded that we're going to share, and then we may come back and talk about some things like we're doing now. We'll see.
I will say next week is actually, I don't know if you want to do this next week because of my interview next week.
Yeah. Right. That's what I was talking about.
Right. So the interview will be Thursday.
Is it going to be live or is it going to be
October 1st? It's going to be live. It is going to be a live interview.
Cool.
People have a chance to interact with me and our guests. And I did say I was going to mention it, but I'm going to go ahead and throw it out there anyway.
You said you were going to wait to the end.
Yeah, it's the end.
Yeah.
So if you remember my clue, it was Redfall, right? I am linking up with the amazing voice actress for Layla Ellison, whom is the telekinetic power character in the new Xbox Bethesda release, Redfall, that's coming out. Everybody got to see the trailer during E3, during Xbox Bethesda's E3 showcase, and it was lit. I'm pretty sure every Black woman, teen girl who was watching got super flipping hyped because we seen her and was like, yes, dark skin, curly hair, hello, let's go, goddess, attitude, and she glows purple, like just the whole nine. I'm here for it. But anyway, the lovely Naveen Crumby is going to be our special guest for a new edition of ShckValue. I like to call ShckValue Voices. And that is Voices. Yes, that is our interview segment. Dope. It's and it allows me and Desmond may do interviews together. We might do interviews separately. It doesn't matter. But it allows us to be able to highlight the people who are doing some amazing things in gaming, esports, geek culture, and content creation. So, you know, like he said, he's going to tap into some old connects. I'm going to tap into some of my old connects, bring some new faces in. And it's going to be fun. And for the rest of 2020, I'm just going to enjoy doing that. But to kick it off, we've got this queen. Listen, y'all, I shot my shot on Twitter and it was history from there. And that's why I said that quote, don't put yourself in that box, because I wasn't expecting anything. I was like, listen, I just want to talk to you, get to know you, let the people get to know you outside of the formal stuff. It's like, let's chat. Exactly.
Not a good benchmark. You step out there and you never know what can happen. You never know.
And trust me, we're going to have some fun, y'all. So please, our Twitter and our Facebook information is down below. You see it scrolling on the bottom ticker thing down there.
The little ticker, it makes me feel like we're official. Like, yo, yeah, you know, we got everything. We got all the bells and whistles, man. We got it. You know.
Well, I'll say this. I actually have gotten better with the streaming aspect of things over recording. So if y'all need recorded video editing work, that's him. No, that's him. This guy on this side. That's him. Him. Yeah, ain't nobody else over there. Ain't nobody else up in this house. It's you. That's a black woman. And that's Chadwick. He can't do nothing. God rest his soul. But that's the homie. Much love to Chadwick and his family. But, you know. Anyway, yeah. So tune in for that. More ShckValue live to come. It's going to be awesome. I'm hyped.
I'm excited. She's excited. Yay. We hope you're excited. Thank you for tuning into the show. She is going to be back next week with that special interview for you. We're going to have more content for you as well. I want to see if we can do some reactions as well. They may not. We're going to see how we can do it. May not be for YouTube, but we may do it for like Twitter or what do you call it?
Twitch.
And we'll see what we can do from there. But thank you guys for watching the show. We will catch you next week. Peace.
Y'all have a good one.